Welcome to another Maz Play video. This is MazMojito, and today we're going to be picking up where we left off with No One Survived. Let's get to it. Alright, so where we last left off, we had showed up at this town here, which is infested with zombies. And at this point, we're just trying to clear these guys out so that we can do some exploration of some of the buildings. Trying to keep my distance here with the spear attacks, but if the numbers become too bad, then they'll probably easily overwhelm me, and I don't really have too many weapons to fight them off. I really don't want to use any loud weapons because that's just going to pull way more zombies than I want to deal with. So looks like we got kind of a little bit of a pause from the zombie rushes. And we'll take these last two out, and we'll start exploring to see what kind of loot are in the buildings. Alright, so these gunshots are most likely going to draw a whole bunch of zombies in the surrounding areas, but I have no choice because my spear appears to have broken. So I expect that there's going to be probably a whole lot of zombies coming out the woodwork here. But not the most accurate right now because I haven't really leveled up my firearm skill. So I'm probably going to be missing some of these headshots here, but hopefully it's not too many zombies and we don't run out of bullets before we end up taking out as many as we can. So it looks like it's kind of a little bit of a pause. So we're going to go around and do some more exploration. The only thing that I'm able to pick up from these guys is some teeth, which are basically trading items for the vendors around here to get weapons or armor or other types of things that they are for some reason interested in collecting zombie teeth for. So we're going to quickly go through these buildings, search them. My inventory is already kind of full, so I really don't have a whole lot of space to pick up more things. But we'll try to go for anything that stacks and just kind of keep going from place to place. Hopefully we don't get surprised by any lingering zombies. One thing to keep note too when you play this game, when you're not doing too much movement, the picture is nice and clear and the quality is pretty good. But when you're doing a lot of movement, there just tends to be some pixelation. So the guy took way too many bullets. So that's just something to consider. And also sometimes you'll have a little bit of lagginess and slowdown depending on if you're going to an area that has a lot of buildings or trees, because it has to render all that stuff in. So just a couple of annoying little aspects of this game that eventually you kind of get accustomed to, like I have, but the first time you experience them, they could be kind of annoying. My gunshots is definitely drawing more zombies than I like. That's why you kind of hear all the growling and stuff in the background. And hopefully I don't run out of bullets, because the zombies will just keep getting respawned and keep finding me, especially if I'm making a lot of noise. So the loot in these kind of buildings are usually kind of similar. You're usually going to get electronic parts. You're going to get some iron and copper nuggets, which if you get a couple of them, like 3 to 5 of them, you can turn those into ingots. You're always going to get like some bandages. And you're going to get a lot of toolboxes, as well as a lot of kind of lockpick kits and stuff like that. So very rarely do you find weapons in here. That's usually going to be in other locations, but for just your common everyday loot, you're usually going to find that in these kind of buildings. All the building designs are pretty much the same. Maybe there's some paint job or color differences, but they all pretty much have the same layout. So once you've done one, you've pretty much done them all. So toolboxes will be good for crafting at some point. Advanced parts will be good for also crafting, but this early in the game, probably not a whole lot of crafting going on. At this point, we're just trying to get as much loot as we can, because we haven't even decided where our final base is going to be. But ammo is usually going to be in these nightstands, so you definitely want to check those. Sometimes you'll find pistols in there, and you'll also find gun oil for repairing your guns. And usually these buildings only go up maybe 2 levels, at the most 3. And you can tell because they'll have that debris blocking the stairs. And that's pretty much a template that's copied across most of these kind of buildings. They all have kind of like the same interior. Looking at my build menu, there's quite a few things that I have unlocked now. But there's just a variety of things you can do once you do decide to build your base. But pretty standard, it's going to be the foundational floors, some walls, and then some pillar support to take up the weight, and then of course top it off with stairs and roofs as you need to. So it's a pretty common building scheme that you will see in this game. That's typical to most other survival games. Then you have all these extra buildings which are really late game, when you're actually starting to rescue prisoners and stuff and bring them back to your camp, so that they can operate all these different outdoor facilities to give your camp some additional loot. So we'll continue to quickly go through here and look and see if there's anything else worth looting. Here in the electronics store, you're always going to find a whole bunch of household batteries, which again is useful when you're actually building your base and starting to set up your electrical grid. So the batteries will come in very handy. But usually you'll have 1 or 2 zombies hiding out there, and their hearing is super sensitive, so they'll hear you very far away and come running. So the biggest thing with these melee attacks, they really eat up your stamina, especially depending on the type of weapon you're using. My stamina being the blue bar there. Once you run out of stamina, you're pretty much done. You can't run away from these guys. You can't poke or stab anymore, and your character just start breathing real hard, and at that point you'll pretty much get overwhelmed and taken down. So, and the sucky thing is that you will have to run from your respawn point all the way to where you went down just to recover your loot. So that is annoying as well. but it is part of the game. Guys, I think we're gonna be in trouble here because there are way too many zombies, and I'm running out of stamina. Some of these zombies like to jump for some reason. My spear just broke. That's why I went to like punching these guys. So I'm gonna see how many I can shoot. This is also kind of like a little. And I'm out of bullets for that, so. But this is also going to be calling a whole bunch of zombies out of the woodwork. Yeah. And I think I'm out of bullets. So I really don't want to go down and lose all my loot. So I'm going to try to like fight these guys off. Try to see if I can like get them to get stuck on some stuff so that I can like maybe poke and stab them, or maybe I can kind of lose these guys, find another way. I could take out some of them, but my stamina is going down with each swing. And now we got some coming from behind me. Some of them are faster than others, so we obviously want to take care of the fast ones. It doesn't help that they like to jump in the air, because that just makes things confusing, because I end up swinging and missing. And as you can see, my stamina is really low. And this axe is barely like taking a whole lot of damage. Okay, so then there's a whole bunch down there that are probably gonna try to join. Oh man, so yeah, this is definitely not what you want. To try to jump over this fence, but as you can see, a lot of them already kind of jump things, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna try to weave through all these trees and see if I can get them stuck or something, but it doesn't seem to be working very well because I still got a nice little train behind me. And then my axe is not hitting them in the head, it's hitting them in the arm and the leg, so it makes it even more of a challenge. Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of keep running around town. Hopefully we don't run out of stamina, but we're gonna not be able to outrun the faster zombies, because if we start sprinting, then our stamina is gonna go down. We won't have any energy to swing our axe. Okay, so I see limbs starting to fly off, and I think that's the last fast one. I could be wrong. And look at that. My stamina is pretty much gone, so I'm going to have to walk. I can't even run, so I'm going to have to walk, and I'm going to have to weave and try to get these guys stuck. And then go from there. Luckily, it's only like 2 or 3 left compared to that big horde that attacked me earlier. Okay, maybe 5. But because they just keep coming. Yeah, this is difficult without the proper weapons. If I had the spear, I'll be able to take these guys out. But without the spear, I'm limited to just hacking at these guys with this axe. And in the process, they keep hitting me, so I'm losing health. As you can see, my heart in the bottom left is starting to get really red, which is a bad sign. And they're still coming. They are relentless. And I'm infected, so as you can see in the upper right, there's a blinking little germ thing. So most likely I died from the infection because that takes your health away. So as I said, I died here. I respawn. My loot is probably way up in that city area there. I have to run from down here all the way back up there to get my loot. All right, so what I ended up doing was kind of pausing it so to spare you the running from one end of the map to the other. And I was able to eventually get back to my destination, grab my bag, and hightail it out of there. However, I end up getting overwhelmed again. They took me out. So what I had to do is just kind of start a new person, but I'm going to be setting up camp here up in the hill. And this time I'll be a little bit better prepared when it comes to exploring cities because I actually have a base to operate out of. So I'm choosing this area right now because it's close to a mine. And obviously that's going to be a benefit to me because when I start crafting things, it's probably going to ask for specific minerals that you can only find in the mine or certain areas of the map, like open fields and stuff that may have big boulders of the mineral that you need. So for right now, I'm going to go up the hill as close as I can to the mine, but not in the mine, and start building kind of a little bit of a mini camp. All right, so normally what I like to do is kind of a 3x5 type building, but there's quite a few areas that are probably too low to put the foundation in, so that's why those are turning up red. So I'm just gonna kind of like put the foundations down where they are not red, and then come back and adjust the layout here once I get everything in place. This is very similar to a lot of games like Infected, where you kind of put a ghost of what you want to build there, and then you come back with the materials and fill it in. But that also gives you the flexibility to go back and delete parts that you don't want. Maybe it didn't line up correctly. But this kind of at least helps you kind of plan out how your base is going to look layout wise. So I'm going to lay down as much as I can. Then I'm going to try probably like trim it down to like the ideal shape of what I'm looking for. Okay, so we're gonna roll with this. We're gonna start filling in these foundations with the wood that I have on hand. I need a couple more logs, so I'm gonna have to chop down quite a few trees in order to fill in the foundations. But that shouldn't be too difficult. It's pretty much a similar situation to a lot of games. You chop the tree, and usually the tree will either fall into little wood chunk pieces that you can walk over and pick up, or in this case, you chop the tree, it falls down, you chop it again to make even smaller logs. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing at this point. And then coming back and filling in those foundations with the logs or the wood that are required. So it'll probably be a whole lot of back and forth, a whole lot of tree chopping, but the point is to just try to flesh out my foundation up the hill. Okay, so my backpack is pretty much full of branches or sticks. Eventually what I need to do is build a stick holder so that I'm not carrying this all around in my backpack, taking up precious inventory space. I have quite a few logs down here, which I'm going to use to transfer straight to the foundations that I'm building up there. Now, obviously, when I have too much inventory, the logs will start falling to the ground, or anything that I try to pick up where I don't have space for it, it will just fall to the ground. So I'll have to come back for those And as you can see, I am walking because I'm now over encumbered, carrying all those different logs. So that is just something that you have to deal with. Inventory management, weight management is very important in this game. And it will make your walking either very slow if you're over encumbered, or you could be unhindered and just kind of move around really quick and pick up resources. So I'm going to keep filling in these foundations until I run out of lumber and then head back out. So I am interested in experimenting with a second level, but I have to find some stairs that's gonna get me up there. So I'm gonna try these, see how these corner stairs look, and maybe that'll allow me to start making a second level. But it's gonna take a whole lot of logs to build this this facility. So I may go with a roofless type staging ground for doing maybe collection of lumber and holding points for sticks and logs and stone and whatnot. But this is not going to be my permanent base. This is really more just getting familiar with the base building process. All right, so we got to stare down. I think at this point, we're going to go ahead and put a bookmark in the video. We're going to continue to collect some logs, continue to fill out this little resource camp base, whatever you want to call it, and see where we go from there. So as always, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. Please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.